Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. In today's video I decided to prepare a little bit of a relaxed vlog for you guys today. Pretty short, but just to put something out for you guys to update you on all my pets and how they're doing, because there are a couple different things that happened over the past week or so that I would love to share with you guys, and I think is really important that I share with you guys since this channel is all about my pets and there are a few updates. So without further ado, let's get right into today's video. If you enjoyed, make sure you hit that like button and comment down below, but let's go right into it. So before I show you the pets, I do just want to update you guys on the main overall points of my past week, because some things have happened. Just to put it lightly, mainly regarding my leopard gecko Toast. If you're new, he had a few health scares over the past just 48 hours. And if you're any of my close friends, you know just how much this caused me stress and anxiety in the past few days. But basically, my leopard gecko Toast is a leopard gecko, and they can be picky and have different issues with being regular eating because they're picky, or they can also have other health issues that are pretty various, like maybe getting impaction or constipated from various different things that sometimes you can't completely control. And so the past few days I've been stressing over him because he hadn't pooped in 5 days, which is really bad. Leopard geckos can go, a couple days without going to the bathroom, but overall they should be pooping pretty regularly, every day to every other day, because they should be eating every 3 days or whatever if they're adults, which I have videos on this channel you can go check out that go into detail more on feeding and things like that. And I plan on making a very rigorous video on specifics of their diet and schedules of feeding. But besides that, he hadn't pooped and it was going on past 5 days, and if you Google it, just any basic Google search will give you the answer that I'm about to tell you guys, which is at the 5-day mark, you do need to consider taking your leopard gecko to the vet to get an examination, which is expensive and stressful for your leopard gecko. So that is a very negative thing, but also necessary, because just because they're reptiles or small animals does not mean that they don't deserve proper medical treatment and proper access to health resources. So regardless, I was gonna take him if he needed to be taken, because obviously prolonged constipation or lack of bowel movements could inherently cause death, and you don't want your leopard gecko or any animal at that matter to die over something so simple as constipation, which could be caused by numerous factors, and it could have been impaction as well. So every day I was giving him some sort of massage on his stomach, which is one thing you can do in case you're worried. But before I tell you some things you can do for constipation, since I want this to be a little informative for you guys, here are some signs of constipation in leopard geckos or impaction. So if your leopard gecko has a swollen belly where it hangs down or sags a bit, and when you feel it or palpitate it, it feels kind of dense. And you can compare that to when you hold your leopard gecko and they're not swollen in the abdomen. They usually don't feel they don't have anything, but they feel loose and not tight in there, because they don't really have abs like someone who works out does. So if they feel very dense or tight, or just hard compact material in their abdomen area, sorry, I'm rubbing my stomach right now, that's most likely due to the fact that they have lots of stuck up bowels full of all the food they've been eating but not releasing. With my specific example of Toast, he had been eating pretty regularly before that, and he actually had just shed and ate his skin on top of all the meals I'd fed him, and he hadn't went a single time. So I was pretty panicked and giving him lots of massages where you can just gently use your finger to gently push and palpitate their abdomen area, and push it towards their vent area. But another thing you can do that I did a couple times, it's a little bit more stressful if you don't get the temperature right, but a little warm bath where it's not too warm to scald them, but not too cold to make them cold, and not too high that it goes above their forelimbs. The water should just be really thin, but enough to do something, and then you can also massage them in a bath. So I was doing those two things repetitively for days just for days, and he hadn't went a single time until last night, the night of the eve before today. And today was the day I was going to have to take him to an exotic vet in my area and get him examined if he didn't go poop. And thankfully last night I was giving him another bath and I was giving him another massage, and he finally went, not with me massaging him, but he went after when I was letting him run around my playpen. So You can also add exercise into the remedy list. If you let them exercise in a playpen or on you, that can help. This can help things to get moving, because if your enclosure is like a 20 to 40 gallon enclosure, they don't have like a lot of expansive space to run around, and they'll be more inclined to run around in a playpen. So that's one thing you can do as well. But that was the little health emergency scare that I had with Toast. Thankfully he went poop. He probably will go again, probably, but it was a little bit bigger than usual because obviously he hadn't been going. So hopefully he'll eat soon and get back into a healthy schedule that he was in previously. It can go from being very like he's fine to very not fine. So it's a very anxiety provoking situation for me. So I just wanted to update you guys mainly on that. But then the one other thing I wanted to do with you guys is just show you all of the animals and how they're doing, especially Moose with his new enclosure, because I haven't provided that many updates on his new Paw Hut hamster enclosure that I got him, or I received for him during Christmas. But he's doing really well with his enclosure, as you can see behind me, and I did add some really pretty lights. In my opinion, they're pretty. They're really just Christmas lights because I didn't have fairy lights to use. I need to order some more, but I honestly love these. It's just to give more light in this area of my room and more light to allow me to access his enclosure a little bit better and see what I'm doing a little bit better, because I like supplemental heating. I hate when supplemental light. I hate when it's just one overhead light. If you've ever seen like a TikTok where it's like when overhead lighting be like, and it's like a surgery room, that's how I feel. So I like to have like little lamps, little salt rock lamps and things like that. So I added that, if you noticed, and his enclosure needs to be cleaned out at the end of this month, so maybe I'll record that for you guys, but I'll quickly show you guys how he's doing. And Toast right now is in this humid hide where he's been a lot, because I think it just helps him because he's had issues going to the bathroom. I'm not entirely sure, but he has been more in his humid hide than usual, and he just finished a shed, so it's not like he's trying to shed or something. I don't know. And as for my birds, they're doing very well as well. And there are two little fun things that I want to update you guys as well on, but that's about everything that I wanted to talk to you guys face to face. So let's get into just like seeing the pets and a few surprises for you guys. I'm also wanting, side note, another side note, I am wanting to do a little video on making Toast some of the Rapashi grub pie powdered like insect gel. I want to make him some treats out of that sometime, and I was going to do that today before all the health emergencies came up. So I'm not going to introduce a new food to him or a new treat to him until he's completely out of the woods with this, because he's still recovering from his little constipation. So stay tuned for that. I will be doing a full tutorial on how to mix the powder with the water and into the mold and everything like that, because it's a pretty interesting experience, or it's a pretty interesting procedure that I want to show you guys. But let me just go ahead and show you guys everything else, and yeah. So I decided to start updating you guys with Toast, because obviously this video is kind of centered around him having the biggest update on his overall health status. So hopefully he's doing well. This is his poop hide, and he hadn't pooped under this hide, which he's very organized. I just clean out this poop hide. I just scoop up the poop every day in the morning because he poops pretty regularly. But he hadn't in a while, and I kept checking, and it was very nerve-wracking because I could see he was becoming lethargic, and he did have a swollen abdomen, and he was walking extra slow, so I just knew something was up. He also wasn't hungry at all because he obviously needed to pass some bowel movements and such, so I'm really happy I could relieve some of the pressure off of his abdomen last night, and that's why I did end up canceling the vet appointment, because obviously I can work it out on my own without paying a ton of money, but obviously if you can't work it out via home remedies, or you're not confident in your ability, please take your pet to the vet, and please don't get a pet if you aren't responsible enough to pay for the vet costs, because they deserve to feel okay and not be in pain and suffering. So anyways, as you can see, his enclosure is the same as it always is, but he is right in his humid hide. You can kind of just see his little tail right there. I really do want to get him an upgrade in enclosures to 40 gallon with a larger humid hide, because he loves that little rock humid hide, but he's getting bigger. I think he's completely mature in size, but he hardly fits in it, and so I feel bad, but he also still likes it. So if I do upgrade his enclosure, maybe for my birthday or something, I would definitely keep that in there and just get him a second one, so you would have the option to go in the small one and the big one. But that is a plan. Even if it's not in the near future, I will be upgrading his cage one day because he is a leopard gecko and they live for a long time. So obviously he deserves an upgrade sometime because he's an amazing pet and he's like my little pet dog. Yeah, and right there are the molds we'll be using for the treat video coming soon. But yeah, Toast is doing okay now. I'll keep you guys updated on his progress. For some reason, I didn't post any updates on my community page about him. In the moment, I wasn't really focused on documenting the issue. I was more focused on keeping my leopard gecko alive and getting him help that he obviously needed. I'm really happy that he allowed me to help him and he's helping himself as well. I trust that he will resolve the rest of the constipation if it is just constipation, because he's been blocked up before. And this is a familiar health issue for a lot of leopard gecko owners, so if you're thinking about getting a leopard gecko, this might be really helpful for you to make your final decision, because you want to be educated before you get the animal and take on that responsibility of taking care of their health issues and things like that. Also, I wanted to mention that since I was planning on taking Toast to the vet today, I did do some research and I did start preparing to take him to the vet. So if you ever want a video on how to safely take a leopard gecko to the vet or any of my animals that I own, whether that's Budgerigar parakeets or hamsters or leopard geckos, how to take them safely to the vet to decrease the stress levels for your animal, I could totally make that video. Just comment down below which animal you want to see and how to take them to the vet, and I will totally make that video because I find it very interesting. And I've experienced taking hamsters to the vet. I've experienced almost taking him to the vet, and I've almost taken these guys to the vet as well. So just comment down below. Anyways, moving on right along. My birds are doing great. That's Sky and that's Q if you're new. They're still settling into their new location in my room. That was like a month ago probably, but it takes them a while to adjust to change, so they are kind of skittish again, but we'll work on taking them out of the cage again like I was before I had to rearrange my room a bit. They're in a more tucked away corner, which is better for them and their anxiety and stress, so I'm really happy with them and they're doing very well. And they're going on like 6 years I think or more, so that's crazy. And lastly, we have Moose, my Syrian long-haired hamster. He is doing absolutely fantastic in his new enclosure. He has so much more space and he loves playing. I wish I recorded him last night, but he loves his little boredom breaker, and he always, every night, looks under each little compartment in it for food or treats, even when there isn't any. So it's really sweet with that, and he really is enjoying that. The only complaint I have for this enclosure so far is the fact that this thing right here that's supposed to hold up the lid when you have it open, it still holds up the lid, so I guess it's not that bad and I really shouldn't be complaining. However, it does droop down, like the screw here isn't tight enough into the wood anymore and we can't really tighten it, so it does come all the way down. It's supposed to stay snug against the wall of the cage, but it does come down. That could just be my cage and its defect, but besides that, it's a really good enclosure and me and my dad's modifications have been working swimmingly. So far, all that I've realized that Moose has chewed has been this one plastic tube I put in there. He's completely destroyed that, but I'll definitely show you guys that when I clean his cage at the end of the month, because it's crazy how much chewing he got done to that piece of plastic when he has all this wood to chew. But I honestly prefer it over his wooden enclosure because so far I haven't found any large evidence to him chewing the enclosure, and he's a rather active adult male Syrian hamster. So I hope this helps you guys in decisions for if you want to get an upgrade and change to this wooden enclosure with stress about your hamster chewing the wood. Because it's a pretty affordable enclosure, but then again, it's a thin wood material. But when I do full clean out, I'll be able to tell if there is any actual damage, and I'll definitely update you guys on that. But Moose is doing amazing. I want to do a video more just on him or just on hamster care in maybe a week or so. I have a lot of video ideas that I want to do, so just let me know what you guys want to see. I already have a few that you guys told me you wanted to see, so I have those in my back of my mind, and I kind of have a video plan. But I hope you guys enjoy this short, brief, relaxed video and the update on the pets, even though you didn't get to see Moose, or you didn't really get to see Toast either. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys!